scholars, welcome to this week topic once again. And this week topic is going to be an interesting and exciting topic. Remember, last week I discussed with you pest in crops, which is a follow-up this week. And in that week I discussed the meaning of pests, the types of classification of pests, as well as the various control measures. But this week, as we go along, we are going to look at the meaning of diseases. Similarly, I'll also look at types of diseases as caused by the pathogenic organisms. And then further, I'll look at the mode of transmission as well as the method of control of these diseases. Why don't you pay attention and remain focused as you go along? A disease in crop plants can be defined as an abnormal condition in a crop plant which will show in some parts, such as the leaf, the root, the stem, the fruits, or the entire part of the plant. For example, this is a tomatoes plant, whereby the leaves, the fruits are all normal, they are all right, okay. But when there is a deviation, it must show in some part. Hence, we are seeing the leaves that were formerly green have turned yellowish, thereby affecting the fruits and other parts of the plant, thereby depriving the plant from getting enough photosynthesis and other things or minerals that are needed by plant. Therefore, it has deviated from the normal condition to abnormal condition. Causes of plant diseases. Diseases are caused by pathogenic organisms. These are organisms, most of them cannot be seen with the aid of our naked eyes, except with the aid of a microscope. Here we have nematode, which is part of them. This one can be seen with our own eyes. We also have bacteria, virus, fungi, etc. Now, let us see some of these diseases as caused by these pathogenic organisms. Here I have cocoa black pod that is caused by fungi. Other fungi diseases could be corn smut, sigatoka in banana and plantain, and then gumosis in citrus such as orange, just to mention a few. I want to also show you diseases as caused by nematode, such as tuber rot. It can affect cassava and yams. These are nematodes that will enter the tissue of the tubers, thereby destroying them. Here are some of the diseases that are caused by virus. Here I have cocoa swollen shoot. Another one is called groundnut rosette. Maize streak. You can see the streak or lines on the leaves of the plant. Cassava mosaic, which is a major disease in cassava. These are some of the diseases caused by virus. I want to look at specific diseases in crops, and I'm starting with bacterial spot or bacterial blight in tomatoes. And I'm going to use some headings like causative agents, crops affected, mode of spread or mode of transmission, symptoms, as well as the control measures. So what is the causal or causative agent of this disease? As you can see, is bacteria. Crops affected are tomatoes, sorghum, cowpea, etc. And what is the mode of transmission of this disease? It is usually through winds and water. That's when rain is falling. Symptoms. You can see the leaves are already curling, preventing photosynthesis from taking place. And it will result to yellowish of leaves. And it will closely followed by defoliation. That is, these leaves that are yellow will start falling down. Of course, what happened to the fruit? The fruit will not even get ripened like this. They will be premature and the leaves will start dying. Then yields will not be affected, thereby reducing the production. Control measures. We try as much as possible to grow resistant varieties, and when we are planting, we should use a clean seed for planting. The next disease I want to talk about is corn smut. Corn smut. The causative agent of this corn smut is fungus. You can see that there are already damage on the seeds of the grains. Crops affected are usually grains such as maize, rice, millet, and sorghum. And the mode of spread of this disease is wind, because they are usually in powder form. What are the symptoms? The symptoms are large mass of spores, that's powder-like substances, are cover the whole cob or grains, which can also be called black spores. It renders the seed useless. It's no longer viable for planting. This is how the spore started as sporogia. That is the spot that spores will start producing or increasing. This will further spread to the stem and affecting those that have produced seeds, thereby growing as mucor into the seeds, then rendering the seed useless. If it affects our crops, what are we supposed to do? That's prevention and control. You use clean seeds while planting, and seed possibly can be treated with fungicide before carrying to the farm to plant. Here I have some crops that were planted, and later they started developing black spots. And before you know it, they refused to germinate, such as this. And I tried to find out what was happening. I decided to cut the tuber into two. The inside was yellowish. For some others, the inside was now soft and dark, which I'm going to demonstrate to you. Let me destroy. You can see that the internal structure that is supposed to be good for germination has been damaged by the presence of root knot nematode, which I will show you right away. But inside the tubers, there were some tiny reddish worms that are inside, and these ones are called root knot nematode, or some call it earworms. So the crops they affect or attack are yams, cassava, sweet potato, in short, root and tuberous crops. Mode of spread of this nematode is usually through soil, hence they are earworm nematode. They pass through the soil. The effects on the tubers are that the tubers, if it is cassava or yam, they will become soft. and render them useless, because definitely it's not going to sprout out. Even though it's happened to sprout out, it's going to be tiny. This is the one. Here is a disease in maize known as maize streak. It actually forms streaks, that is lines that you are seeing on the leaves of this plant. The causative agent of this disease is virus, and it affects maize and other grains. The mode of transmission, it is transmitted by piercing and sucking insects such as whiteflies. There are those insect pests that will transmit this disease from one plant to the other. Symptoms, it will lead to the discoloration of the leaf surface, thereby reducing the crop yield. Then how do we control this disease? We can plant early and also spray insecticides to kill the vector and also remove affected plants. Another disease I want to talk about is cocoa black pod. It is caused by fungus affecting cocoa pod. The symptoms are the brown spots on the pod will lead to rotting. Then the seed will become useless to reduce the yield entirely. Its mode of transmission is usually through rain splash and sometimes insects and animals. Its control measures are usually regular weeding, then removing and burying all affected pods. Then if possible again spray with fungicide because it's a fungus disease.
Fusarium survives in the stubble of maize. When farmers plant new maize seeds on an infected field, Fusarium infects the young maize plants in several ways. One of the most hazardous is silk infections. These result in an infection of the cob, called pink ear rot. Farmers who cultivate maize on a soil infected with Fusarium risk severe yield losses. Farmers that use maize seeds which have been treated with an antagonistic fungus will grow stronger maize. In addition to strengthening the plant, the antagonistic fungus can activate the plant's immune system by inducing a resistance against Fusarium. What is caused by the pathogenic fungus Monilinia. The Monilinia fungus overwinters on mummified fruit and twig cankers. In spring, the fungus produces spores. These spores are dispersed by rain, wind, and insects. While fruits can be infected when growing, the symptoms do not show until maturity. The first symptoms of brown rot are small brown spots, rapidly developing into spots with white mycelium and grey spores. Brown rot occurs mainly after harvest, when fruit is stored at around 20 degrees centigrade. Brown rot is slowed down at low temperatures, but not stopped. The antagonistic fungus and bacterium must both be sprayed 30 days before harvest. The fungus and bacterium in the spray will compete for nutrients and space with the pathogenic Monilinia fungus. The antagonistic fungus and bacterium products will offer much better protection for the fruits, also in storage. Mildew is a fungal disease that affects many crops. The fungus Plumeria graminis causes powdery mildew in cereals. This fungus spreads via its spores. The spores jump from a pustule to infect the same leaf, then the leaf above, followed by neighbouring plants. Heavily infected plants produce less yield. Powdery mildew is a key fungal disease that causes major losses. The Biocums biological control product is based on an antagonistic fungus. Farmers can spray when they see the first powdery mildew symptoms in their crops. This antagonistic fungus in the spray parasites the powdery mildew spores, causing them to shrink and die. Although some spores may still spread from the pustules, they can no longer infect healthy plants as they are dead.
Thanks for watching my video once again, and I hope to come your way next week with another interesting topic. Bye.